Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I just have to say first off, I've never seen Lilo and Stitch. Now, I just watched a whole bunch of Disney films recently, but it's one of the few that I still don't own. So I don't know anything about the character, and I'm probably going to get the names mixed around as I'm talking, so forgive me. But the reviews are in for the new live-action film, and they are surprisingly bad from a few people, particularly Grace Randolph. The problem is, apparently, according to her, the film was originally meant to be made for Disney Plus, and they only had like $100 million budget, so they didn't really have the money to do a lot of special effects. So they basically cut down Stitch's screen time, so he's not in it a lot. And apparently, when he is, they've reduced him to a pet, so he's like a dog. And there are a lot of scenes that were important to the character and to the original film that are not in this film. People are sort of expecting a sort of just live action version of the original film, and there's a whole lot of scenes that are missing, and the character is basically treated like a dog. And they also apparently they made the little girl or someone a marine biologist or something, like they weren't good enough originally, the original character. So I'm honestly not sure if any of this is correct, but because I haven't seen the film. But I just find it just shocking if this is the case, that this is a big franchise. This little creature Stitch, which we've seen in a lot of premieres and things. They've got they've got a little version of him in a pink car that drives around, and he was on The View, and he wasn't as interactive as I thought he'd be, but it still was kind of cute. It was a bit of a mess, honestly. Yeah, apparently they skimped out. I guess they just thought, well, people will go see it anyway. Doesn't actually need to actually have him in it, really, as long as we've got enough shots for the preview, basically, seems to be the attitude. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that they're doing all these fans dirty and doing this character dirty. And because I've seen this before in other films where they don't really have the money for something, so like the character that you're there for the whole film is basically there just at the end in the last scene sort of thing. It's like Master Universe, where they didn't have the budget, so most of the film is set on Earth, so they just had to have a couple of basically human characters running around on location. And there are ways to cheap out on a film, and apparently they've done it with this. She really hated it. Grace Randolph hated it, and other people I've heard sort of saying the same thing, that they left a lot of things out, and it's not it's nothing on the original. And it's not just because some people just prefer animation and believe things are better in animation than in live action. You can't recreate things in live action that you do in animation, but this is more like what they left out, and you'd think they would have just spent the money. It's supposed to be like $1 billion film. It's supposed to be the big sort of film for Disney coming up, and they couldn't have spent another 20 or 30 or something $1 million just to have more scenes with Lilo. Apparently, not Lilo, Stitch. Apparently Stitch looks great when he's on screen, but the way that they use him and the scenes that he's in are the issue. So I just find that shocking and disappointing and just stupid. It's like, you have to manage these things properly. You can't do this because, okay, you're going to have a big opening, but then word of mouth is going to be like, yeah, they cheaped out and he's barely in it or whatever, and it's not going to have the legs that it would have normally had. And the money you're going to lose is surely not going to compare to the money that you would have had to spend just to get those that good word of mouth and actually have a good film. So that's just really bizarre and disappointing. I'm like, really, I can't believe they just thought that would be okay. We don't really have the money to have this character in the film as much as he should be and do all the things he's going to do. So let's just cut all this out and make him more like a pet that is more in the background. He's more like a supporting character, and it's more about the human characters, which some people argued they did a lot in Transformers. I never really felt that. I felt like the robots were on screen a hell of a lot. But yep, so it's very disappointing, I think, even though, no, I'm not a fan of the film, I haven't even seen it. But just the idea they would do that, you think they'd know better. And I mean, you think with like maybe, a little streaming movie or something like that, they could do it, but something as big as this that's supposed to make that much money, yep. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this, this sort of news. Because I don't think anyone was really expecting this, because you just assume this is a slam dunk. It's just, just make the animated version of that film, whatever it costs, it's going to be a hit. And apparently they just set a budget and said, no, well, we can't do this. It'll be fine like that. I'm like, how do these people keep getting employed? How do these studio executives in suits, people that make these stupid decisions, keep getting employed and keep working? And they do the most stupid, basic things that just an audience member would know better than. But